These appeared about 10 days ago. They should be ready probably in about maybe 10 days. But I've been irrigating them every day with the hose. In a wet year, you usually don't have to do anything. Certain years, those things get huge. This year, it's just been so incredibly dry. So over here, these were a bunch of logs that I inoculated with lion's mane, but they were overtaken by local turkey tails. I'm probably going to place these logs on top of some other logs to try to get these spores to drop and colonize other logs naturally. So over here, these are shiitake logs. So I soak these in that pool in cool water for 24 hours. And then you put these on the pallet and you water them twice a day. And I'll show you some of the baby mushrooms that we got growing on them right here. I'm gonna pick these shiitakes probably tomorrow or so. We're having like this Indian summer type weather right now, which is really good because shiitakes like it between 50 and 80. When it falls outside of that range, they're not happy. Here we have snow oyster mushrooms growing on beach logs. And there's also a few Norway maples in here. This is a Norway maple with blue oysters on it. These are really close to picking. With oysters, the edge of it will start to curl up. It'll flatten out, and that'll tell me that it's pretty close to picking. These look like they still have another day or so. They're doing really well. This is some of the storm damage that we got. Luckily, all the trees that fell were back here in the woods, but I made the best of it. Made a bunch of logs out of them, shiitakes, reishi, lion's mane. That's what I try to do for micro-remediation here. So this is my lab where I keep my grain spawn and my sawdust spawn. I keep them in these bins so they don't get light on them because these are a type of oyster mushrooms, and oyster mushrooms are sensitive to light. This is the Black King sawdust spawn. This should be ready to inoculate other sawdust spawn bags or other fruiting bags, probably another 5-10 days. Once you clone the mushroom, you put it on agar in a petri dish, and once it colonizes that agar, it goes on to rye grain. And from rye grain, I put it onto the sawdust, and then from the sawdust, it can either go into logs for outdoor cultivation, or you can use it to inoculate fruiting bags for indoor cultivation. So in here, this is a wild oyster mushroom that I cultured from the woods behind my house. These are fully colonized bags, and they're in here, and I'm keeping them at 68 degrees. And I just poked the holes in the bags yesterday. 4 days to 10 days, they should start producing something. This has like little breathing ports. These are the micro filter patches that I use for mycology. I put some of those in there so it can breathe. But this is the exhaust. So this has air, so it comes here and it keeps this room at a nice temperature. So I have more of a space to use.